Are you aiming for the supervisory role, or you're just curious what is supervision all about? If you're one of those, then this video presentation is for you. Hi everyone, my name is Maria, and today I present to you Supervision 101, a guide on how to become a supervisor. So here is an overview of the topics covered in this presentation. First is what is supervision. Second, what are the responsibilities of an effective supervisor? Third, what are the skills and qualities of a good supervisor? Fourth, what are the traits of an ineffective supervisor? Next is what are the things you need to do to have effective supervisory communication? And last, what is my plan for becoming an effective supervisor? Let's define supervision first. According to the definition of Cambridge Dictionary, supervision is the act of watching a person or activity and making certain that everything is done correctly, safely, etc. And the person who does the supervision, especially in a workplace, is called supervisor. The main role of a supervisor, according to Indeed, is to serve as the liaison between the members of a team, shift, or department and upper management. Based on the two definitions, a supervisor is somewhat like the jack of all trades because they must know a lot of skills and how to do the various jobs in their workplace. Now, speaking of skills and jobs, let's talk about what are the responsibilities of an effective supervisor. According to Indeed, there are 7 responsibilities of an effective supervisor. First is managing workflow. This is the main responsibility of a supervisor. To manage the workflow, they identify tasks needed done to complete a job. They also identify goals, present the objectives, and continuously monitor the team. Second, training new hires. They are also responsible for training newly hired employees. Supervisors train the new employees by helping them understand their roles, teaching them the procedures on how to accomplish their tasks, and providing them orientation which explains the company's policies. Third is creating and managing team schedules. Supervisors ensure that they have the right and enough number of employees for each shift and balancing it by scheduling more people during the busiest hours and less people in slow hours. Additionally, they are also responsible for organizing the schedule immediately in case someone needs to take a sick leave or requested a day off. Fourth is reporting to HR and senior management. This is one of the responsibilities of a supervisor wherein they need to relay the information, which is about an employee or their team's performance, to the human resources department and senior management. This also means that supervisors are responsible for evaluating each employee under their team, which is the 5th responsibility in the list. So the 5th is evaluating performance and providing feedback. As I have said earlier, it is the responsibility of a supervisor to evaluate the performance of each employee, and another important responsibility is providing feedback. Getting feedback is important and necessary for employees because it enables them to know and learn the areas that need improvement, whether it is a skill or behavior. It encourages them to grow and improve themselves. Sixth is identifying and applying career advancement opportunities. Since it is expected that supervisors know their employees well, they are also expected to identify employees who are worthy for receiving a promotion. Supervisors don't have the authority to directly promote employees, but they have the power to give suggestions to the senior management on deciding who are the ones that are eligible for getting a promotion. Seventh is helping employees resolve issues and disputes. The supervisor is also in charge of helping their team to resolve issues and disputes because, as mentioned earlier, they are the liaison between the team members, other departments, and senior management. They help resolve issues by using active listening skills and understand every employee's concern. In other words, a supervisor is the go-to person of the team members, especially when they need a mediator for resolving an issue. Now let's talk about what are the skills and qualities of a good supervisor. Based on Indeed, here are the skills that you need to become an effective supervisor. First is communication skills. You should have the ability to communicate or express in words how to do a job while meeting the performance standards and what are your expectations and goals for the team. Next is approachability and empathy. You should look approachable, and you can do that by showing empathy to your team members. This will allow you to know what conflicts and issues are present in the workplace. And since you're approachable, your team members will be comfortable asking for your help in resolving the conflict. Next is management skills. You need this to delegate tasks and create schedules that are effective and fair for each employee. Next is adaptability. You have to quickly adjust to changes, especially if your organization implemented new rules, regulations, or policies in the workplace. Additionally, adaptability is not just about adjusting to changes, but also being creative and flexible in problem solving to develop new ideas on how you can manage your team. Next is confidence and positivity. It is considered that our mood, attitude, and demeanor are contagious, and I believe that's true because at my work, when I saw someone who is feeling good or they're showing like more passion and more energy, so it's giving enthusiasm, and it also makes me feel enthusiastic and use all the energy I have to perform my job. And that's the reason why supervisors must show confidence and positivity so that the team members will also do the same. And next is transparency. Being honest and direct to your team members will build trust and boost the respect of your team members for you. You can practice transparency by giving regular feedback and encouraging to have conversation with your team. Next is teamwork. Include your team members in decision making and problem solving processes. This will make them feel that they really belong to the team and their role is important to the team's success. Last is willingness to learn. Even though it is expected that the supervisor knows everything, it's also important to keep in mind that nobody's perfect and sometimes we make mistakes. Therefore, having the willingness to learn is important for supervisors because you're willing to learn and use the learning to improve your performance. Moving on to the 5 qualities you need as a supervisor. So first is resourceful and determined. You should overcome challenges at the workplace quickly and you are confident and sure what you're doing is right and appropriate. Next is values each member of their team equally. You avoid discrimination and stereotyping. You view everyone according to their own unique personality and not on their race and or culture, and you embrace diversity. Next is shows respect and consideration to both management and employees. You're the liaison or the connection, so as the one who connects both, you have to be open-minded and understanding to avoid making biased decisions. Next is capable of giving employees both positive feedback and constructive criticism. You're not scared of giving feedback, and you see feedback as something you can give to others to help them improve, whether it may be in a skill or their attitude. And last is handles in-office conflict quickly and fairly. Conflict doesn't only happen in an office, it happens in all workplaces. But it is true that supervisors must handle workplace conflicts quickly and fairly to prevent the issue from getting bigger. Because the longer you take an action to resolve the conflict, the longer you'll have a hard time to resolve the conflict completely. But it is also important to keep in mind that it's not enough to just resolve the conflict quickly because you have to ensure that the action or approach to resolve the conflict is fair for all the parties involved. So far, we have already talked about almost everything that describes an effective supervisor. Now, let me discuss with you the traits of an ineffective supervisor. First is micromanagement. Being excessive in supervising employees is not a good practice because this may imply as lack of trust to your team members. And once the team members see you as someone who doubts them, they will be discouraged and perform their job poorly. Next is apathy. Showing no concern to your team members is not a good attitude. Being apathetic doesn't help you build trust and connection with the employees. Next is inexperience. Having lack of experience in managing a team will make you an ineffective supervisor, so it is important to get involved in your workplace, attend a training for supervision, and continue learning how to supervise a team effectively to gain enough experience. Next is unfriendliness. Using an unfriendly tone when having a conversation with your team will not help you develop a good work relationship with them. Next is overly strict. Being strict is good, but being too strict doesn't help employees to perform their jobs according to the standards because they may feel overwhelmed and it lowers their morale. Next is disrespectful. Showing disrespect, such as shaming an employee in front of other people, and wrongful discrimination will cause an alienating environment. Next is poor leadership skills. The common characteristics are poor communication, lack of integrity and accountability, and indecisive. And last is entitlement. Inability to accept feedback or criticism. They usually blame employees for a failed project and takes all the credit for a certain project. Now that you know the traits of an ineffective supervisor, I hope you will avoid showing one of these traits when you are supervising your team. Moving on to the next topic, which is effective supervisory communication. So, based on what I have researched, there are 5 ways you need to do to have effective supervisory communication. First is grow emotional intelligence. So, you will have the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions. Growing EI allows you to be more empathetic towards others. Next is ensure your message matters. When communicating with others, always make sure that your message has a sense, it is accurate, timely, complete, and clear to prevent wasting time. And next is build trust and be transparent. There's a saying that trust is like a glue that holds a successful team, and that is true. When you build trust, you also create a safe working environment where everyone is comfortable communicating with each other. Next is practice non-defensive communication. Reacting defensively, especially in times that you receive criticism from other employees and you don't agree with their opinion about you, it is natural for you to defend yourself, but it may lead to a misunderstanding. So when communicating with others, always stay calm and positive, since this also makes you look professional. And last is listen actively. Active listening enables you to understand the insights of others and prevents you from jumping to conclusions. And what you see on the right side of your screen are the 6 reasons why communication skills are important for supervisors. First is you can provide feedback effectively, and next is you can build good interdepartmental relationships, and then you'll have the ability to resolve conflict, and having an excellent communication skills makes you a role model in your workplace, and eventually your team members will also follow your techniques in communication. Next is having good communication skills also enhances performance management. And then the last is having good communication skills allows you to move up because you have the ability to create good working relationships with your team members and help them succeed in their jobs. Now, moving on to the last topic, which is my plan for becoming an effective supervisor. So, what you see is a simple overview of my plan. I think these are the skills that I still need to improve. So, first is enhance communication skills, because I believe communication is the most important skill that supervisors must have to manage their team effectively. So I want to improve my English language proficiency because I'm still not fluent in speaking English. So what I'm currently doing to improve it is engaging with my classmates, and I try to start a conversation with them using the English language. Next is improve self-esteem. Having a high self-esteem is essential for supervisors because that shows that they're confident in doing their job, especially in decision making. So I want to improve my self-esteem because sometimes I don't believe in myself that I can achieve my goals in life because I still lack some skills, but I am working on it and I'm trying my best to boost my self-esteem by being positive and stop comparing myself to others. Third is gain enough work experience. So having enough work experience in the hospitality industry is important for me. So in the future, when I become a supervisor, I know how would I handle and overcome challenges in my workplace. Now I'm starting to gain work experience at a fast food restaurant to learn the basics of customer service and how to handle work with my teammates, given that we are working in a fast-paced environment. Next is study and get certificates. I believe taking courses and getting certificates are the common ways to improve my credentials and skills Currently, I am taking hospitality management program and I'm planning to get food safe, serve it right, and WHMIS certification to gain more knowledge on how to handle jobs in the hospitality industry. And last is improve leadership skills. I want to improve my leadership skills by taking the initiative to be the leader instead of avoiding the role. So I can do that by being the leader in class group activities. And here are the references I used for this presentation. I hope you learned something and got many ideas on how to become a supervisor. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me by posting a comment below. And that's all. Thank you for listening and have a great day.